Tonight's guest is John Hajicek.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. What a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the ocean.
We're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jeff
Sunday.
and everyone. Yeah, it's Sunday. So I'm still weirded out by Sunday.
Very much. Yeah, very much.
It's just
Very,
I don't
very
know,
strange.
it just does seem strange. Anyhow, I just got to catch my breath. It's been one of those days. It was the Halloween weekend,
Mhm.
which is always busy. And then today, Eric talked me into working. So I worked all day. So
I was pretty lazy today. It was great.
I was working hard today. It was
I
like
worked hard yesterday. Today was my
often
lazy day.
I was getting rid of rust.
Ah,
It's a fun job.
always fun. Russ is the worst.
Yes. Anyhow, okay. Tonight, we've got episode 268,
Mm-hmm.
November 2nd.
368.
No, it's 268.
268. Did I? Oh,
Did you
man.
add just another 100?
I might have made a mistake there. I can fix it. I put 368.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No, you were tired, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's all right. But
fix
I do hope everybody had a great Halloween
Yeah.
and the kids had fun and all that. And I got to take my 2.5-year-old granddaughter trick or treating, which was a real joy. I mean, that really
I
was
bet.
fun. Yeah, it was so
So
cool.
cute.
And she's so friendly. She had like the creepiest costumes go by and she'd just go, hi.
That's awesome.
It's totally cool. Yeah, she was great. Anyhow, so that was fun. And then she'd always say every time she got a piece of candy in her bag, she'd go, Dad, I got you another piece of candy. Because her dad was stealing it out of her bag and eating it. Anyhow, so tonight we have John Hajicek. So it's Hajicek and Hajicek tonight.
Nice. I actually knew how to spell it.
Yeah.
Many people don't know how to spell it right. I can spell it right.
And this is my
But I can't get the numbers right.
This is my nephew. It's my brother's son.
Yeah.
My older brother, my oldest brother,
I'm looking forward to talking to him.
who's no longer with us, but this is his amazing son, John. And we're going to talk about the Bigfoot and other paranormal topics and how they relate to the Mormon religion, because John is a Mormon historian.
Interesting.
It's his area of expertise.
Yeah, that'd be fun to talk about.
Yeah, and it was just weird because he goes, "Oh, did you know the Meldrums?" And I'm like, well, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I knew them." So
Wow.
it's just funny. All the it gets weird. It's such a small world.
He was loved in multiple communities.
Yes. And so we're going to get into that and talk even about, we might even mention Skinwalker Ranch a bit tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a lot to cover. We've got tech breakdown.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'll be doing that, and it's a really cool product that I think everyone's going to love.
Yeah, fast and weird news.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it weird and fast?
Weird and fast.
Okay, good. I have it backwards. So we're going to do that. We've got a little trivia and some other stuff. So we'll have
get
fun.
ready for trivia. Make sure your internet is fast.
Yes, and we're going to give away something for fun, but not a contest.
Not a contest.
Nope.
Not a prize.
Not a prize either. Oh my God. And if you noticed, we don't have any tongues hanging out tonight
I did notice that.
of our pictures.
Nice job.
Although the first one looks kind of like it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into weird and fast.
Weird and fast news. Here we go.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
First up, what do you think it is? It's the naked mole rat is making.
Your notes have the perfect name for it. The perpetually odd naked mole rat. That's the perfect description. Perpetually odd. And that's actually, believe it or not, that's a really flattering picture of one. They're not cute.
They get uglier, don't they?
Yeah. That's like on a good day. That's that picture there.
Oh my God. So apparently, there's a breakthrough with these little dudes. Scientists have been studying the perpetual odd naked mole rat. They have found something almost sci-fi within its cells. Apparently, their cells seem to repair DNA better than most mammals, right? So we could use some naked mole rat juice, Jeff.
You can.
No.
I'll
pass too. Anyhow, apparently its cells seem to repair DNA better than most mammals, slowing aging and disease. Researchers have isolated a very special version of a protein linked to cellular repair. It would be nice if that becomes available to all of us that are getting up there in years, right?
You're old.
You could have jet black hair again.
Oh, I miss my hair.
Don't remind me. Just one cup of naked mole rat juice.
I miss my hair.
Oh my God. So apparently they have been testing it with fruit flies. And the results, fruit flies are living longer too.
Wow.
So apparently they've got this natural cellular pit crew that never sleeps. This is apparently kind of weird because the naked mole rat already breaks biological rules.
Yeah.
Rarely gets cancer. It hardly ever feels pain. It lives 4 to 5 times longer than similar sized creatures. And it's practically handing us the blueprint for doing the same. So there you go.
The naked mole rat. We don't have to look at it anymore. Nice.
No. Oh my God. Anyhow, okay. The next we have the apparently an AI chip that was designed by AI that works better than regular, chips, computer chips, but that nobody understands how it works.
That's not scary at all.
Because it looks like spaghetti to them under a microscope. Okay. So we're going to talk about this spaghetti circuit boards. So it says researchers let AI design a wireless chip, and the results look like someone spilled spaghetti on a circuit board. Yet they work better than the very neat, organized human designs. Engineers admit they don't fully understand how the layout and function of this thing it works. It's like we invented a genius, told it to do homework, and then came back with hieroglyphics that somehow get us an A+, but then raises wild philosophical, technological questions. So the question is, will future machines be built by systems that we don't understand?
It's a terrible idea.
That is what could go wrong building machines, hardwired things that we don't even understand how they work.
We've already had rogue AIs that kind of do their own thing. That's It's a terrible idea. Let's not do that.
So apparently this alien-looking silicon brain that's been developed has been outperforming every blueprint they've ever drafted.
It's a terrible idea.
So it says we made a machine that makes machines we can't understand. Think about that. We made a machine that makes machines we don't understand. What could
that's how we get Skynet. Not good.
Yes, next.
And
it's the staying, I should say, damn 3-eye atlas that I'm sick of hearing about.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff, man.
But it's still in the news, so I'm going to talk about it. They're now calling it the speed demon from space.
It's hauling,
because this thing is hauling now at 200 kilometers an hour. Can you translate that, Jeff? That's what, 150 maybe? 1,000 miles an hour? Something like
that.
120, 150, somewhere between 120 and 150 miles per hour.
It's moving.
Apparently, that's the kind of speed you only see in sci-fi hyperspace scenes, or when your tools fall off the workbench and roll into one spot that you can't reach, which is always
every time.
Yep. Apparently, this thing is just breaking all of the physical things that we know about any object. This, and they're still arguing. Some still think it's a ship.
Not
because
natural.
Of the way it's behaving.
Who knows? That'd be something, wouldn't it?
What do you think?
I'm kind of prepared for anything. I'm kind of prepared for anything, and I kind of don't believe anything that I'm being told. So who knows?
It says whatever or whoever launched this thing, and was it a stellar explosion, a gravitational slingshot, or alien engineering, really punch the throttle. Objects like this give us rare physics lessons in how things move between star systems. It's a cosmic express mail with no return address, so we don't know where it's from. And then, of course, the chemistry is also perplexing them. It says when scientists pointed the James Webb Telescope at 3-eye atlas, they expected a normal icy traveler. Instead, they got chemistry that doesn't match comets born anywhere around our sun. They're getting extreme CO2 levels, implying formation near a blazing star or a strange radiation-heavy region. So this means this object didn't just travel here, right? So here we go.
That's pretty wild.
All right, well, we'll see if it lands. It's heading our way.
Yeah, that'd be something.
All right, here's another thing that what could go wrong. Ancient frozen microbes have woken up. Scientists revived on purpose microbes from deep Arctic permafrost. And the first thing they did, they started pumping out CO2 like tiny biological factories. It's like walking up to a prehistoric sourdough starter and realizing it wants to terraform the planet, and maybe not in our favor. So apparently the speed at which these microbes kicked into metabolic high gear shows how tightly climate and biology are linked. As more frozen earth thaws, more ancient life kicks into gear. So there you go. Frozen Earth. I just have news for you. Frozen Earth has been on since comets were born. It's never stopped. All right. So hopefully they don't let those little frozen dudes go.
Little frozen zombies. Weird.
Little frozen zombies. And now there's a tech conference. And I've gone to like NAPD, and I went to One Electronics show in Vegas, and they are just mind blowing, right?
That'd be fun to go to. I'd love to do that.
They
I've
really
been
are.
I've been to different trade shows, but I've never been to electronics one. That would be a riot. That'd be a lot of fun.
They're crazy. So this is a global conference. Apparently, it's growing at warp speed. It's called GITEX, one of the world's biggest tech and AI conferences. Apparently, it's multiplying like Wi-Fi hotspots at a college dorm. Launching new global editions in Europe and beyond. These events bring startups, inventors, and industry titans into one arena. So there you go. If you want to go to an AI conference, go to, they call it the Comic-Con for AI.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to do it.
Oh, and then scientists. This is kind of a weird one. Scientists discover a toad that turns neon yellow for just 2 days. So it turns its color only for 2 days. It says there's a species of toad. It's in India that pulls the ultimate glow up literally for 2 days a year during the monsoon mating. I would pick a better time to mate than the monsoon rainy season.
No comment.
Yeah. It's spontaneous. God, say that word. Spontaneously. Thank you. Turns glowing neon yellow like it's headed to a raven the rainforest. Scientists think the color change helps attract mates in the muddy waters where visibility is low. So there you go.
Wow, that's weird and fast.
That is weird. And then we have the weird fact of the week.
Weird fact.
It's really weird too. Super weird.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
Throw it up. There it is.
Throw it up. Good choice of words.
So this is the Hydenora. Take a stab.
Hydenora africana.
So say it again.
Hydenora africana.
Hydenora. Yeah,
I'm guessing. I really don't know.
Anyhow, this is a parasitic plant that lives entirely underground and only bursts up when it's ready to stink up the neighborhood. It smells literally like poop. And it's apparently smells like poop to attract dung-loving beetles, which are its pollinators. But apparently, this plant smells like a sewer.
Yuck.
It says, so here's some facts about this strange, weird plant. This plant does zero photosynthesis, so it does not use the sun to convert the sun into energy. Instead, it steals all of its nutrients from the roots of other plants. So it's parasitic. It's a botanical vampire, it says here. It lives underground most of its life, and you could walk over it for years and years and never know it's even there. And then it erupts from the soil when it's time to flower, like in a horror movie jump scare. Kind of like, have you seen mushrooms do this overnight? They'll just bam.
Yep.
Like they'll wait underground too forever, and all of a sudden, like, how is that possible?
Yep.
For a mushroom to be, 4 inches high in one day.
I get them in my yard a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so it lives underground most of its life. It traps insects. Dung beetles crawl inside, thinking they found a poop heaven. The flower then clamps shut on them. And so they get, then of course they get coated in pollen, and then the plant releases them like later on, like days later. It'll keep these dung beetles inside them, and then it'll unclamp.
Wow.
When they're fully coated with pollen. Apparently it looks like an alien organ, like a monster mouth. Botanists call it bizarre and creepy. Locals call it a jackal food because sometimes jackals will gnaw.
Yuck. How hungry you got to be to chew on that.
It has edible parts. In some regions, people eat the fruit. It's said to taste like dry, sticky potatoes. What the hell is a sticky potato?
No thanks.
So apparently there's people out there willing to eat a poop flower that tastes like a potato.
No.
It takes years to bloom, 5 to 7 years before it'll show itself, and sometimes 10 years. And it's a relative to no other plants. It belongs to a tiny ancient plant family called the Hydronoraceae.
Hydnoraceae?
Yeah, Hydnoraceae. That barely looks like a plant at all. There you go. So if plants had cryptids, this would be a cryptid plant.
Yeah. You know what? It just reminded me of a really bad dad joke. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What's brown and sounds like a bell?
I don't know.
Dung.
Dung. God, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's so bad. It's good. It's good timing on your dung joke. Do you like how AI made the flowers, their little inside of the flower look like a, yeah, never mind.
No, that's not comment.
All right.
Next up.
Let's do this quick audience trivia.
Sure.
And then we'll do tech breakdown, which
Okay,
you're going to do. I'm honored that Jeff is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this, but let's get let me pull the comments up here. Let's get two people that have never done trivia before. I want to get some new blood here. Let's do some trivia.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Audience Trivia. Who wants to play?
I just had some cold water.
Nice. I got a little bit of tea left.
Cold microplastics water, apparently.
A little bit of Earl Grey left. Love it.
Okay.
Trivia. So who's playing? Who's let's get some new people here.
So apparently the trivia is kind of timely because we're getting into the season of cold and flu, and the trivia is about Kleenex.
Kleenex trivia.
Kleenex. I mean,
There's
who would
something you
think?
don't hear every day.
No. It's really interesting, though.
We need some people to play. Come on, somebody jump in here.
Steamboat goes, I suck at this. Nice.
Anyone, come on. Who wants to play some trivia? Maybe we will have to use somebody who's done it before.
It doesn't
All right.
matter.
So Steamboat wants to go in. Steamboat, I'm not sure who's.
All right.
Steamboat and who else? Somebody wants to go up against Steamboat.
Come on. You can win not a contest.
You can not win a contest and not get a
Right. You
prize.
cannot win a contest, and we probably won't send you a prize.
We'll send you. It's not a prize. It's not
No.
it's not a contest.
No, it's not. Says Lay will play again.
All right. So it's Steamboat and Lee. Cool.
Or Lee. Yeah. Why
Let's
do I
do
always
it. I'll
say
keep-
I always say
keep-
Lay, and it's Lee.
Lee.
Sorry, Lee.
Lee is not a contestant.
She's
It's not a contestant.
right, exactly.
That's a good one, Kim. I'm not a contestant.
Okay, somebody just pumped in there. Little Susie Smokes. What? Can you read that? We could have three
Susie
people.
Smoke
We could do
Shack
three
Barbecue.
people. Let's do three. Three people.
Sure. Yeah. So we got three. We got Steamboat, Lee,
We'll just say little.
We'll say Susie. How's
Little
that?
Susie.
Little
All right.
Susie.
And then Lay or Lee. Why do I keep
Lee.
saying Lay?
I have no idea.
Lee.
All right, let her rip. I mean, you know what? I can play some background music here too for you.
And who else? Who else is it?
So we've got
Who else?
Steamboat, Lee, and Susie.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Got our fun trivia music going on here.
Oh God. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, guys. What product was Kleenex originally invented for? These are multiple choice. Was it makeup removal, cleaning glasses, gas mask filters, or cold and flu use? makeup remover, cleaning glasses, gas mask filters, or cold and flu use. What was the product Kleenex originally invented for?
All right, Steamboat said...
You don't have to do...
Let's see here. Steamboat said cold and flu. Lee said...
glass cleaner.
Well...
Nobody got it right.
Nobody got it right. They guessed everything but.
So they're all tied. Okay. Number 2. In what decade?
Well, just to be clear, the answer is gas mask filter.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
no one got it right.
Yeah.
No points for you.
Gas mask filters. All right. In what decade did Kleenex first hit the market? Was it 1910, 1920s, 1930s, or 1940s? 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, or 1940s. First person to get that right.
Steamboat said 40s. Lee said the teens. What does little Susie say? I got that song in my head, but little Susie. Come on, Susie. What's your answer? And little Susie is right. 1920s.
Yes.
So 1 point for little Susie. Nice job.
So we got one there. All right. Which company owns the Kleenex brand? Is it Procter & Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, Unilever, or SC Johnson? Who owns the Kleenex brand? Is it Procter & Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, Unilever, SC Johnson's? One of those.
Steamboat said D. Lee said D. Waiting on little Susie for to make a hopefully an educated guess. S.C. Johnson. And once again, everybody's wrong.
Okay.
But Andrew is right. Kimberly-Clark is the right answer. Andre, unfortunately, Andre wasn't on the list to play.
Andrew.
Andrew. Is it Andre?
That's like saying, that's like me. That's like saying Vinegar for vinegar.
That's how it's spelled.
Oh my God. Okay.
Anyways, the answer is Kimberly-Clark.
Yes.
Andrew, sorry. So we're little Susie, 1 point. That's it. Next up.
All right. And next is Kleenex was first marketed as a disposable substitute for what? Was it napkins, cotton pads, handkerchiefs, or towels? Kleenex was first marketed as a disposable substitute for what? Napkins, cotton pads, handkerchiefs, or towels?
Okay, next comment, Carl. What hasn't Carl done?
I did some work for S.C. Johnson. He says, never underestimate the drawing allure of Racine, Wisconsin. Yes.
Carl's done everything. He's amazing.
Well,
I had so much fun hanging out with him at the Bigfoot conference. We had a blast. Alrighty, so
I haven't been. Steamboat says handkerchiefs. Let's see here. Who else?
Steamboat and little Susie, about this, they're both right.
Okay.
We'll give them both a point. Why not?
Okay. All right.
So it's 2-1. Little Susie with 2, Steamboat with 1.
All right. What year did Kleenex introduce the pop-up tissue box? What year did Kleenex introduce the pop-up tissue box? Was it 1924, 1928, 1935, or 1944? So was it A, B, C, or D? 1924 is A, 1928 is B, 1935 is C, and 1944 is D.
All right, Lee said 44. Steamboat said 44. And what does little Susie say? 44. And they are all wrong. Sorry, no points for any of you. Squatch Mama was right, though, 28.
Yeah, the right answer, of course, is 1928.
Of course, it's so obvious.
Yeah, it is so obvious. It's things we think about every day.
Everybody knew that.
I'm hoping at Thanksgiving dinner you can recall one of these questions.
Yeah, that's every year we talk about the history of Kleenex. It's a pretty common.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and argue about it and debate it.
Comes up often.
Yeah. All right, Kleenex got its name from what word? Was the word clean? A, was it clean? B, clear? C, clean with a K? Or D, cloth? What word or what got its name? Kleenex got its name from what word? Clean, clear, clean, or cloth?
Steamboat says C, clean with a K. Lee says cloth. And little Susie, who needs faster internet, says C. Again, you're all wrong.
Can you imagine
A, clean with a C.
Hanging your head down low because you don't know Kleenex trivia? Going to bed just feeling like a loser because
we're all guessing. It's all good.
All right.
No shame. Who would know that? Who the heck would know this?
Yeah, it's clean.
Wouldn't it be something if we had somebody in the chat who actually was a Kleenex expert?
Probably Carl.
yeah, that would be something else.
Well, he damn near was. Which slogan made Kleenex famous early on? Was it A, because you're worth it? B, don't put a cold in your pocket? Or C, softness you can feel? Or D, catch life's messes. Sorry, my mouse arrow was over the answer. I was like, what? Catch life's messes. So A, because you're worth it. B, don't put a cold in your pocket. C, softness you can feel. Or D, catch life's messes.
All right, Lee and Steamboat both said C, softness you can feel. What does little Susie say? C. All three guessed the same, and they all guessed wrong. Wrong.
Okay,
the answer is don't
easy.
Put a cold in your pocket. That's actually a pretty good slogan.
But I have little Susie in the lead by 1 point.
Yep, I do too. 2-1.
And then Lee, I don't think has any.
A whole lot of fail. But Susie is in the lead.
All right.
Number 8 is next.
Now it's what item did many people mistakenly start using Kleenex for, leading the company to shift marketing? What item did many people mistakenly start using Kleenexes for, leading the company to shift marketing? Was it wiping tables? For A, B, blowing noses, C, polishing shoes, or D, washing hands? What did many people mistakenly start using Kleenex for? Come on, who got it?
Right,
B. Lee. I think Lee got it right. Lee got it.
Said C.
B.
Well, that's a pretty clear win for Lee right out of the gate.
There you go, Lee.
So Lee is on the board. Nice
You're on
job.
the board now, tied with Steam.
Tied for last with Steamboat.
You're only 1 point away. Okay, here we go. What material are most Kleenex tissues made from? Is it A, cotton, B, wood pulp, C, linen fibers, Or is it D, synthetic blend? What materials are most Kleenex tissues made from? A, cotton, B, wood pulp, C, linen fibers, or D, synthetic blend?
All right. Steamboat said B. Lee said B. What is Susan?
It is B.
They all said B, kind of at the same time. So I guess let's give them all a point. How's that sound?
No, because Steamboat was first.
No, they were all right, but they're all pretty much at the same time.
But it's kind of first too.
You want to give it to Steamboat? All right.
Yeah.
We'll give Steamboat a point. So Steamboat and Little Susie are tied at 2. We have very strict rules here.
Yeah, we make them up as we go.
It's not a contest.
It's because it's exactly. Rules. That's why we do that.
Because
it's not a contest. All right. Which country famously uses the word Kleenex generically for all tissues? Is it the United States? Is it Japan? Is it Germany or Brazil? So A is the United States, B is Japan, C is Germany, and D is Brazil. Which country just genetically calls every tissue Kleenex? Generically and genetically. Both genetically and generically.
All right. They all got it right. U.S. But Lee was first. So we'll give a point to Lee. We're going to play by the strict rules here because why not? So
it's tied.
No, I got 3 for Lee, 3 for Little Susie, and 2 for Steamboat.
Really? So Lee pulled ahead?
Or we can go whatever you have too, because
I had tie, but whatever.
Okay. Let's call it a tie. Let's call it a 3-way tie. I'm okay with that.
It's not a contest.
Keep it industry.
See, that's proof. It's not a contest.
Not a contest. Completely arbitrary for no reason.
I like
whatsoever.
the way you say that, Jeff. I like the way you say that. Not a contest.
Well, I have to emphasize that. We don't want to get in trouble.
The way you say it, though, it's just so perfect.
It's not a contest.
Not a contest.
Not a contest. For entertainment purposes only. So no wagering.
Let's see here.
We need a tiebreaker question.
I am. I'm looking for I got advanced Kleenex trivia. Are you ready?
For the Kleenex experts. We know they're out there.
Yes. What was the original brand name Kleenex was launched under in 1924? Was it Cellulcotton for A, B, Kotex cleansing towelettes, C, cleanup tissue with a K, or D, Kerchief-X?
Interesting.
Or you could say kerchief, right?
Kerchief-X.
I haven't heard that name in so many years. Have you?
Kerchief? No.
Yeah, I remember my grandpa saying that once in a while. Hand me my kerchief.
All right, so
is it Cellulcotton?
Guess is here. We got Little Susie.
Or A, B, Kotex, C, cleanup tissue, D, kerchief.
B, Steamboat. Let's see here. Steamboat says C. You are all wrong.
Okay, next. What wartime innovation led to...
Should we share the right answer? Or just forget about it?
Oh, it's kerchief.
Kerchief-X. That just doesn't have the same ring as Kleenex.
I know. Kerchief-X.
Probably have something to reach here. Hand me a Kerchief-X.
That's how it was originally marketed. You bought your box of Kerchief-X.
All right. We're still looking for a tiebreaker here. Somebody got to win this.
Here we go.
Not a contest, though.
No, we don't have any questions. What wartime innovation led directly to the creation of material used in early Kleenex? Was it A, parachute nylon, B, Cellulcotton or surgical bandages, C, waterproof canvas, or D, gas mask charcoal filtration? So was it basically bandages, parachute, nylon, waterproof canvas, or gas mask filters? What wartime innovation led to the creation of the material used in early clinics? So what do we got?
Well, Lee was in first with the right answer.
Okay.
Cotton surgical bandages.
So Lee is ahead of the not a contest.
Lee is ahead at 4 points.
All right. Let's just do one more then.
One
if it
more.
Stays. So give somebody a chance to.
So you can tie it up. We got one more question.
No,
here,
wouldn't
otherwise-
even tie it up.
Well,
So I've got-
someone else could tie it up. In theory, it's 4-3-3 according to my notes.
Oh my gosh.
Completely arbitrary because it's not a contest, not a prize, not a contest.
What
Nothing of the
scientific? All right. What scientific development helped improve Kleenex softness in the 1950s? Was it a enzyme fiber treatment? Was it the chemical pulp bleaching? C, was it rayon blending? Or D, a heat press fiber alignment process? So was it A, enzyme fiber treatment, B, chemical pulp bleaching, C, rayon blending, or D, heat press fiber alignment? And
Steamboat says A. Lee said D. Susie said D. You are all wrong. It's
David
D.
got it right though. Yeah, David, you go, man. He knows.
Oh, David has kind of proven to be the Kleenex expert. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Dave. Chemical pulp bleaching.
So Lee
Looks
won
like-
the not a
looks like
contest.
Lee didn't win anything because it's not a contest, but Lee should. You know what, Lee? I actually just deleted the email from last time, so please email me your info again. I just posted my email here. It's jeffp@untoldradioam.com. Lee, please email me your information, and we will. You didn't win anything, but we'll send you something for no reason whatsoever. How's that
Right.
sound?
And what should we send? What should we send for no reason whatsoever? How about
those dung flowers?
Yeah, no. How about an innovative hobby supply, cryptozoology museum? Not
Sure.
the Bigfoot museum, but the big cryptozoology museum.
It'll go perfect with it. So yeah, please email me and we'll get that to you.
All right, there you go.
There we go.
Future home of the International Cryptozoology Museum. All right, so you can do your thing, and then we're going to bring our guest on.
All right, so here we go for tech breakdown. My very first one. Exciting. All right.
I'm going to pretend I'm you, Jeff.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. I am going to. So this gadget is unbelievably cool. Brandon got one before I. And I got one, and it is absolutely amazing. I'll play a little video for it first, and then we'll talk about it. Right. Let's play a little video here. This is straight from the company website.
If you're gearing up for emergency preparedness or camping, the Kelly Kettle is the most valuable piece of equipment you can own. Your Kelly Kettle can boil 1 liter of water in just a few minutes using natural fuel. Your kettle will allow you to quickly purify water for drinking, rehydrate food, or simply cook a meal. Whether you're a backpacker, fisherman, hunter, or emergency prepper, after one use, you'll know that the Kelly Kettle's a must. The specific design of the kettle allows you to start the fire and keep it burning in windy or rainy conditions. It's so easy to boil water and cook food all at the same time. The Kelly Kettle provides the ability to stay warm on a cold night, feed yourself properly with a variety of foods, stay hydrated, stay clean, and stay alive. The Kelly kettle is simple to use with only two main pieces, the kettle and the fire base. Gather a small amount of natural fuel, fill the kettle with water, fill the fire base with any flammable material, place the kettle on the fire base, start a fire in the fire base, adding additional twigs and pine cones, etc. into the chimney. In a matter of minutes, you'll have boiling water for a hot drink or to hydrate food. Add a cook set and get breakfast going. The kettle does it all at the same time. The Kelly kettle comes in 3 sizes: Trekker, small; Scout, medium; Base Camp, large. Each one available in aluminum or stainless steel. The variety of sizes means that there's a Kelly kettle stove out there for everyone.
Enough.
Enough of the video? Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is it's hollow.
So yeah, if it's not obvious, it's hollow. It's basically a chimney over this little
That's
fire
so
base.
cool.
It's amazing. So not only is it great for camping, it's really handy for any kind of emergency preparedness. I mean, if you need to boil water, and it really does work that quick with some twigs.
It's got a reservoir of water around it, like a water jacket.
It's like a chimney inside. It's hollow on the inside, and the water is
very cool
around the edge. And with a little bit of just a little fire in that fire base, you can literally boil all that water in about 5 minutes. It's amazing. And you just need twigs, bark, pine cones. You can also use, like sterno cans or anything.
Could you use Kleenex?
You could use Kleenex. And I absolutely love this thing. It's actually pretty cool. It was designed over 100 years ago by the Kelly family in Ireland. And then the original inventor just made them for his friends for a long time. Then 60s, 70s, they started selling them. And then in 2005-ish, the great grandkids kind of modernized the company. And I can't say enough good things about it. It is absolutely amazing.
So this would make a good gift, obviously.
Great gift.
Somebody who likes to camp, another Bigfooter.
So you can get just that's the bare basics is just the fire base and the pot. There's 3 different sizes. However, I recommend you get what I got is the ultimate set. And that comes with a pot, a pan, a couple of coffee cups.
You sound like Ron Popeil, Jeff.
I love this thing. Everything is multi-purpose. Everything kind of it all nests into that one bag. So you can heat up the kettle. You can use the base for a hobo stove. So if you want to just use it as a hobo stove to put a pan on top, you can do that.
Somebody asked, what's the price?
I'll get to that. Let me finish what I'm talking about.
No, I got to be you. I'm interrupting.
All right, fair enough. So the base price for the smallest of the kettle and fire pot is $72. It comes in stainless or aluminum. I recommend stainless. Aluminum's lighter. So $72 for the smallest bear kit. For the full deluxe big pot with the big kit, it's $170. And I do recommend buying it directly from them. It's actually cheaper than Amazon. So let's see. Let me get some more pictures here. So yeah, it's just so cool. And you can heat water and cook on top at the same time. Like I said, everything all nests together. The whole kit nests together and fits in one little bag. You can also get they sell an extra, they call it their survival bag, that it fits everything in there plus room for more gear. So I have mine set up like that, and I've got a little fire making kit with a flint and some tinder and all that kind of stuff so I got the whole kit all in one bag. It's I just can't say enough about it. It's absolutely amazing. Even if you don't camp, just to have one in your house for you never know when you need to boil water. And let's see, the last picture I got here. The 3 sizes, the 54 ounce, 41 ounce, the 20 ounce. So yeah, kellykettle.com, KELLY kettle.com. Look it up. It's Just an amazing gadget. I love it. I love mine. Like I said, I just can't recommend it highly enough. Everybody should have one.
And you're going to do another camping tip next Sunday, correct?
Sure. Yeah, I'm kind of into camping, survival, prepper gear, and yes, I can put up a link. Hold on 1 second here. It's literally just kellykettle.com. I'll type it up here. And it is available from Amazon if you got to buy it from Amazon, but it's $5 cheaper to buy it directly from them. And then they got all the money instead of Jeff Bezos getting a cut. So I recommend you buy it from directly from the company. And they ship it out fast. They have a warehouse in the United States. I sound like I'm working for them, but I'm not. It's a great product.
All right. That's enough of that crap, as they say.
Sound good? That was my very first tech breakdown, man.
Good job.
Thanks. I love it. If anybody got any questions about it, email me. I'm happy to talk about it. I love the product. It's amazing.
Perfect. All right. Our guest. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is he ready?
He looks like he's ready.
Are you ready?
Head.
Wave your arms if you're ready. Okay.
Yeah, he nodded his head. He's ready.
So this is my nephew, and me and John have talked about having him on for years, actually. And he is a Mormon historian. He buys and sells rare Mormon artifacts, and so he's been in the business a long time. I'm going to let you kind of fill us in a little bit more detail. But let's welcome John Hajicek.
Yep, let me.
My nephew.
Here it is. All right, and welcome, John. Hi, John.
How are you?
Hello. We've got a lot of echo already.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get as close as you can to the computer if you don't have a mic. There you go. I see you. Okay, you got to turn your volume way down.
Okay.
That's the problem. I'll bet you Jeff had you all set up, just like everybody there was reset everything.
I thought we had it set up. It's okay.
How's that?
It's still pretty echoey.
Well, I can't hear it. So
your volume is really high on something.
Let
there
me
we go.
Can
you hear me?
It's an empty house.
Okay. Well, as close as you can get to your computer, that was going to be much better. So,
yes, sir.
There we go. That makes a huge difference. All right, John, welcome to Untold Radio. Why don't you start by just, give our audience just kind of a quick introduction as to why you do what you do and how did you become a Mormon historian?
Well, remember, I was growing up in Minneapolis like you were. And my grandfather was your dad, and my dad was your brother. So we're all in Minneapolis in the 1970s. And in 1980, my branch of the family took off, and my computer came unplugged. Hold on.
I'll put him up. He gets that figured out.
Gee.
All right, here he is.
So my branch of the family moved to Voorhee, Wisconsin, which was a Mormon historic site in Burlington, which is about a half hour south of Milwaukee and an hour north of Chicago.
Right off Bray Road.
Near Bray Road, yes. Mormon Road is the road I lived on. Mormon Road, which was kind of a county line road from back in the 1840s. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've talked about, let's talk about your dad a bit. It was my brother, and from a very young age, all my memories of him was he was always developing really cool electronics, even when he was just a teenager. things like calculators in the 60s, early 60s. I would go downstairs, which I wasn't allowed to go down alone. Go downstairs, it'd be like mainframe computer in the 60s and laser beams everywhere, and mirrors and lasers. And this was like, I thought this was normal, right? I knew the word computer before, I'm sure 98% of the world did, because that was just not something anybody even thought of, right? I mean, what are your
right? So I have that mainframe computer. I inherited that computer from. I remember it running in 1968. You remember it even earlier.
Yeah.
But I sat on my dad's lap or sat on a stool next to my dad while he worked on that, and it worked. I watched the screen. The monitor was an oscilloscope, and it performed calculations and did real work.
Yeah, it's crazy. What companies did he work for in the early days? Was it Honeywell?
I don't remember them all, but he worked for 3M, Honeywell, Univac, Eaton Corporation in Milwaukee. He was the chief engineer on the Nike Hercules missile defense system, surface-to-air missile defense system. He was the chief engineer on the software for that. And he was the chief engineer on the CAT scan software.
Wow!
So he was a brilliant guy.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't think me and you have ever discussed it, but that he had developed one of the first working calculators.
Well, it was a computer. It was a mainframe computer. The trouble is
no,
within 20 years.
No, John, no. I'm talking about a little handheld calculator. I still remember it.
Oh, I have that too. Yeah, that's a little later. That's but I don't know that it was one of the first.
Well, I was 5 years. I was 5 years old when I.
Tandy Radio Shack was working on those too.
I miss Radio Shack.
Yeah.
5 years old. That would have been 1962.
Oh, I don't have that. No.
Yeah. It was just a small little unit made of wood, and it had lights for each. It's a bunch of dots, or they were little neon. They were neon lights, and it would do calc. You could just type in whatever, and it would do plus and minus and times and light up those numbers. Back in the 60s, and he just built it from scratch. It's like, it was pretty amazing back then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what other stuff did he do that just kind of blew your mind?
Well, I mean, that was it. He was, he was doing AI in the 1970s. He was printing books. He was using a 1930s mimeograph machine to, I don't know if do you want to talk about his politics in the 1960s?
No, I don't want to get into that.
Okay. But he was printing his own political literature in the 1960s and his own, it was national, and his own religious literature, which was non-denominational, in the 1970s. He printed all that in our house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyhow, so he was obviously a really smart guy. I know he had a very, very, very high IQ.
He was a member of some high IQ societies that are supposed to be 1 in a million. He was the editor of Noesis magazine, which was a monthly magazine for the 1 in a million society, whatever they called it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when I was young, I would imagine I was about 9. And your dad, I knew, was going on these backpacking trips to learn survival and that kind of thing. And I know on one particular trip he was alone. I know he did once in a while. He brought like Johnny, his younger brother, my older brother, one time, and I remember Johnny going, he begged him to get him out of there because it was so claustrophobic in the bush. And he would use these like 1 square mile topography maps, as I remember.
I have the maps.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So yes, I camped in the North Woods. We went right up on the Sawbill Trail, right up into the Boundary Waters canoe area on the edge of it.
Yeah.
And we did survivalist camping in the wintertime in northern Minnesota. We foraged for our own food. We brought books with us, archival quality books to test our survival skills.
Right.
So we brought everything. We made our own bullets. We loaded our own ammunition. We did everything.
Yeah, but anyhow, the tripper I'm referring, he wasn't with anybody. I know he would go alone. You probably remember all the ones where he dragged you guys with. But he would go alone quite often. And he called my dad one time after one of these trips, and he was really freaked out and he wanted to talk. Like he was really freaked. He was apparently crying on the phone. He was scared, freaked out from after one of these trips. And of course, I didn't know exactly what it was. And he said he wanted to come over, and he came over and he had a discussion with my dad. And of course, I listened to the whole dang thing. You know, we had our ways of doing that. If there was some private conversation going on,
you had to do the same thing, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
When your dad and my dad talked
around the corner,
there were brilliant conversations. And when your other older brother Johnny was there, those conversations were incredible. Whether they were talking about, again, politics, marketing, religion, anything intellectual.
Well, we would get together on Sundays often, the whole family, and we would just discuss science and all sorts of things. But this was different. I don't know if we should
clarify, but there's some distance in time between you and my dad. My dad was born in 1939, and you were born in the 60s. Right?
No, before then, in the late 50s. Anyhow, I don't want to get into my birthday.
Sorry.
You're old, much older than me.
I'm old, but anyhow,
much younger than my dad, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is different. He called in the afternoon. He wanted to come alone. He was freaked out. He was crying on the phone, and it was not like him. You know, your dad was kind of like Dr. Spock most of the time. One of the things I knew of him, and then this was different, and so I listened. And all I could really hear was him describing that he had met something dark in the woods. He said it was black, it was big, and he met this thing face to face in the forest.
Right.
Like in the deep part of the forest. And I don't remember what I don't remember, and I wished I did, whether it was at day or was it at night. You know, because he would, as I would remember, he would go without a flashlight. Is that true?
I don't remember any flashlights.
Yeah. He would go without a flashlight.
We were minimalizing it for sure.
Right. And he wasn't. Excuse me. Losing my voice. He wasn't into Bigfoot, but I think from what I picked up on, that's what he encountered in the woods, and I think it caused him to think it might have been a religious experience of some sort.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that would have been, if you knew your dad, he overthink a lot of things he shouldn't have, and sometimes, I mean, that was his gift and also his curse. Well, remember, he's a graduate fellow at the University of Minnesota at that time, pursuing his PhD. He's agnostic. Right.
And he has a religious conversion experience in the West. Right.
And it changed him. And he literally that day vowed to never hurt another creature again. I remember.
And he didn't until the day he died. That guy would not step on an ant. He would take spiders out of the house.
Yeah.
He would take care of birds and animals and even blades of grass. Sure.
Yeah, I remember hearing him that day say, "I'm never going to walk on the grass again." It was really extreme. Like, it was like, what happened to him? And then you guys, of course, I don't know how long it took, but you packed up. He packed up the family. You sold your home, I think, to my sister, and you guys left town and joined a
Well, it was
church.
our great grandmother's home, actually. But yes, your sister moved into it in our place. We moved
Right.
to Wisconsin. And that was actually, that was several years, because that conversion experience was 1973, I think summer of 73. And he finally joined the Latter-day Saint Church in 1978, and we moved
Right.
in 1980.
Right. So that whole thing, whatever it was, he interpreted it in a way I, personally wouldn't have. I would have thought, oh, I just saw Bigfoot and been done with it. I wouldn't have thought any more of it. But for your dad, it was a life-changing, really big life-changing, which it is for many people. But in his case, I think he probably did a ton of reading, trying to look for answers as to what he had run into, what he had seen.
Sure. So throughout the 70s, then from 73 to 80, he made his way through every apocryphal book, the Josephus and the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jasher, Ellen White's Seventh-day Adventist Revelations, Mormonism, the Book of Mormon, Mormon Revelations, the Quran, and ultimately settled on being a Seventh-day, kind of a Seventh-day Mormon.
Yeah.
Whereas Mormons worship on Sunday like most Christians, but he was more set on the Judaic and Muslim Sabbath and the Seventh-day Adventist Sabbath.
Well, see, okay, but to me, I think of all that as non-important. What was important, he had a life-changing event, radically changed his life.
Well, it shows the sincerity, it shows the earnestness of it. Right?
Oh, big
if
time.
you don't make those kind of life-changing, anybody can question that experience. Did it actually happen?
Right.
But he was moved upon to, uproot his family and learns, foreign languages. Some of those he knew already through his engineering work. He knew Russian and German, but he went on to learn Hebrew. He knew Latin too, but he went on to learn Hebrew and Greek and Spanish and
wow.
And of course, many, many computer languages.
Yeah, it's so hard to get across how brilliant James was. It really is. It's like you can't explain James. He broke all the molds.
Put it in perspective, he probably thought I'm stupid.
Yeah, well,
because he was smart. I'm kidding. He would never say that, but he was smart for sure.
Yeah, he was really smart, and I loved the fact that he was very private. So I didn't know anything about. Then, of course, flash forward, many years go by. You guys are living out in Wisconsin. And we got together with your brother once in a while, but the point was I didn't know some things until your sister came over to my house and saw Legend Meet Science poster on the wall and looked at that and said, my dad's really into that topic. And I didn't really know, you know what I mean? I didn't really know about it. And then she had mentioned that he had joined the BFRO. And I was just the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There was even a link. The only link on his website was for the BFRO. And I did verify that. It was like
sure. Wow. So my dad created a website for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
By about as early as the internet web, the World Wide Web was November of '96 or early '97.
The 90s.
He had a website for his company, but he had sections of his website sectored off for Bigfoot.
Well, but let me finish my story. So here's where it's weird. I have the head of the BFRO coming to my house the next day. That's Matt Moneymaker. He's in charge of the BFRO. He's the one that kind of, implemented it, took it over and implemented it. And I'm finding out about my older brother as being a member of it. You just see this is like really weird, right?
Sure, yeah.
I had no idea. And
it's an interesting parallel in family genetics.
Yeah,
sure.
it's very weird. And then all of a sudden, my brain's connecting a ton of dots. Like all of a sudden, all the memories of that conversation, and then everything finally just fit into place. And I went, "Oh, I get it now. I know what he meant by he was face to face with this big, dark creature in the woods." So I never knew what that meant. And then suddenly it hit me. That's probably what he was face to face with.
Sure. And realize my dad didn't see that as paranormal. My dad believed he saw something natural and he believed it was human. And so his websites were oriented towards the protection of Bigfoot and warnings that harming Bigfoot or shooting a Bigfoot, if you saw one, would be shooting a human.
Right.
Not shooting an ape or some other kind of a species.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's the weird parallel between me and your father that was also unspoken. And you do realize to this day, I never had a conversation of any length with your dad about Bigfoot, ever. It just didn't happen. We had very separate, different lives. He lived in Wisconsin. And by the time I had discovered this, just there were other things going on, and it never really happened. But it all kind of made sense to me. And so, what do you think he found? So let's now switch to what do you think he found in the Mormon religion that may have led him to even be pulled towards the Mormon religion about, the Cain story and that kind of thing. Do you want to?
Well, there is at least one substantial or significant substantive Bigfoot parallel in Mormon history. Do you want to know about that?
Please, yes.
So one man whose name was David W. Patton was a Mormon apostle in 1835, and he was on a missionary trip in Tennessee, and he had an encounter with a creature that parallels Bigfoot, and nobody thought much of it in that way. It made it into his biography in the 1870s. And his missionary companion remembered the story and got it into his biography. But then it didn't make much of a wave until about 1980, when people started reporting Bigfoot encounters in Utah, particularly in South Weber, which is a little north of Salt Lake. There were a lot of Bigfoot sightings, and people went back to that account. That account was recited in a significant Mormon book called The Miracle of Forgiveness.
Okay.
The Miracle of Forgiveness was published in 1969. So they sold, I think, 1.7 million copies of that book. And that's about 1 out of every 10 Mormons had a copy of that book. I mean, that's a lot of people. So when you start to have Bigfoot encounters in Utah, people remember this story about David W. Patton meeting Cain. David W. Patton was an extraordinary individual. Everybody liked him. He was kind of dark complexion, black eyes, a little different than the average Mormon apostle, which was blue-eyed in the 1830s and 1840s. He was just extremely well liked. He was brave, let's say. He ended up dying 3 years later in a Mormon war, in a battle in Missouri, close to where I live here in northwest Missouri. He got killed essentially defending other Mormons. But he was a spiritual guy anyway. He had lots of, you would call them paranormal experiences. We call them speaking in tongues or healing experiences like that. So powerful faith in David W. Patton, and liked by everybody. And so he has this encounter with who he called Cain, I guess. and relayed that to his missionary companion when he got back from his road trip, his outing. And then that made it again into his biography.
So do you think that it's being described? Do you think it was a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot? How has it been?
Oh, it's pretty powerful. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. As I was riding along the road on my mule, I suddenly noticed a very strange personage walking beside me. Now, this is 1835, so this is early, right? You know the history of these accounts, right? I suddenly noticed a very strange personage walking beside me. He walked along beside me for about 2 miles. His head was about even with my shoulders as I sat in my saddle. Now, let's see. David Patton was about 6'1", so he's tall. And so Bigfoot, or whoever this was, his head is about even with his shoulders as he sat in his saddle, but he's up high on the saddle of a mule. Mules are tall. They're not donkeys. They're tall. Here in Missouri, Tennessee. He wore no clothing, but was covered with hair. His skin was very dark. I asked him where he dwelt, and he replied that he had no home, that he was a wanderer in the earth and traveled to and fro. He said that he was a very miserable creature, that he had earnestly sought death during his sojourn upon the earth, but that he could not die, and his mission was to destroy the souls of men. About the time he expressed himself thus, I rebuked him in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and by virtue of the holy priesthood, and commanded him to go hence, and he immediately departed out of my sight. When he left me, I found myself near your house. And this is a guy who thinks he's an apostle. Mormons, Latter-day Saints believe David W. Patton is an apostle. So an apostle for Mormons is somebody who's put on earth to be an eyewitness of things related to the messiahship of Christ and the resurrection and other substantial events, maybe the death of Joseph Smith in a jail. You're supposed to record these events as an apostle. So you've got David W. Patton experiencing a unique event, which to him may have meant more than it would have meant to an ordinary Latter-day Saint. And to his listeners or his readers, it meant more than it would if an ordinary Latter-day Saint had this experience. This is an apostle of Mormonism saying he sees this creature who's able to converse apparently in English.
Super interesting. Are there any other religions that have a hairy, big, giant, or large creature mentioned? Or is it only the Mormon?
I'm not familiar with any. I mean, sort of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at is if your dad would have found that passage and read it and had his own encounter with such a creature, I could really see that he felt it was a sign from God or, whatever. He would have taken it very personal.
Sure, exactly.
And you could see that. I mean, couldn't you? Because we don't know. I mean, your dad's not with us anymore. We can't ask him. But do you think that's possibly why he gravitated?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I do.
Well, good. Because even you and I have not really discussed it in depth. And that is such a clear description of a Bigfoot.
But, Mormonism starts with paranormal activity in a sense. You've got the Smith family speaking to personages they identify as angels, but you would identify them as ghosts. So they're looking for buried treasure in different hills all over the country, all over New England and New York and Pennsylvania. The Smiths are looking for treasure, and they're having encounters with what we call treasure guardians. The person who buried the treasure is guarding the treasure 1,000 or more years later after they buried it. So that's how Mormonism actually starts, kind of like an Oak Island experience, where they're perpetually looking for a treasure that's never found, except the Smiths ultimately found a golden Bible buried in a hell.
We put up a comment from Squatch Mama saying Buddhism would have the Yeti and Christianity references of the Nephilim. And I don't know exactly. I mean, I get up on this topic years and years ago, and now I've forgotten more than I can even remember on the Nephilim, because there's been many people have speculated that Bigfoot is, a Nephilim, a fallen angel of some sort.
Or a hybrid of some sort.
Yeah, or a hybrid.
Nephilim are kind of hybrids in a lot of ways. It's
right.
Yeah, it's kind of from the Book of Enoch, which is considered apocryphal, but I'm not an expert.
Sure, and then the Book of Mormon story starts out with, I, Nephi, having been born of goodly parents, and this is a person in history at allegedly 600 BC who describes himself as large in stature and so on. So there are some parallels there, but I need to definitely say I'm not a folk historian. I'm a document historian. I work with rare Mormon documents. So some of this is a little bit outside of my familiarity with the folk part of Mormonism.
Do you feel that other people in your family may have known that that's kind of what happened to your father, or is it?
Oh, sure.
You think so?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I find the parallel between me and your father quite interesting. I really do.
And it's because it was two independent channels, and you're on one hand his much younger brother, and you're doing the most important documentaries on Bigfoot, and my dad, completely independent without the two of you talking, is doing the first websites on Bigfoot.
That's so interesting. You wonder, you talk about the genetic connection. Is it a genetic connection? What it is, I have
or it's God moving upon you, Doug.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't ever think that deep. I'm not a deep thinker.
How long has he been gone? Your brother?
My dad died in 2007, February 28th.
Okay. It's been a little while. Boy, he sounds like an amazing guy. I would love to have met him.
Yeah, he was.
Don't think of the questions you want to ask when somebody's alive, because you can always ask next time.
Yeah, it's a great lesson here, because
no question.
If I could go back, I would have some amazing conversations with your dad about some area of commonality that we never shared, because your dad would do things like he would just call me up out of the blue. I'm coming up to see you, and I'm going to take you out shooting.
Yeah.
And he would just show up, and we would just like go shoot and have a great day. Then I wouldn't hear from him for 5 years.
I heard from my dad every week. At least we talked for hours. He was my computer go-to guy, and my religion and history, everything. Best friend. So I needed him for everything, and never asked him some of these interesting questions.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Just take it for granted.
So are there any UFO mentions in the Mormon religion at all?
It's an interesting parallel. Just as extraordinary as David Patton's experience with Cain that parallels Bigfoot, there's another Mormon apostle named James Hutchins. Now, James Hutchins is a minority church apostle, meaning he's an apostle to the separatist Latter-day Saints that stayed back in Illinois and Wisconsin and Michigan in the 1840s, did not go to Utah, but he's legitimately ordained an apostle. He lives in Michigan and Wisconsin. He's a Southerner, kind of like David Patton. He's from Tennessee. He is raised in Natchez, Mississippi. I was just down there a year or so ago with a gorgeous woman, sweet, smart girl. Took a lot of pictures. And So James Hutchins is super important, and he becomes an exile, and ultimately he does visit Utah. But he's kind of an exile among even Mormons, even among minority Mormons. He's an exile, and he writes 5 or 6 little booklets. I have 5 of the 6 in my collection, but there's one I don't have, and it's called An Outline Sketch of the Travels of James Hutchins. And in it, he talks about a UFO experience. It's extraordinary. And again, he's an apostle. So he's like this eyewitness. Like, why is a guy who believes himself to be an apostle? He's been ordained an apostle. He's been ordained to witness the unfolding of the last days and, apocalyptic events and record it to him and to his readers.
Did you want to read anything?
Yeah. So he's up in Wisconsin. He's actually not far from you. He's up in Black River Falls, Hickston, Maryland. It's all in Jackson County, Wisconsin, kind of halfway between Madison and the Twin Cities. And he ends up there in about 1857. And in 1859, in the summer, he has this experience. He writes, about this time in that country. Now he's writing in the third person, but he's the author. He's writing this. He's writing it as if somebody's writing his biography, but it's an autobiography.
Okay.
About this time in that country, he beheld a great phenomenon in the firmament like this. As he was laying upon his bed at the hour of about 3 o'clock one night, upon a sudden, it became considerably light in the room where he was lying. His eyes were open, and he saw a blazing, metallic, fast-moving craft with a pointed nose, flared body, fiery exhaust, and eastward course. That's about it.
Interesting, though.
Well, that's not all of it. I missed some of it. Well, that's frustrating.
Now there's
I missed some of it. I printed it and it missed some. But he goes on and he talks about this sounding like a locomotive and looking like a iron that you iron your clothes with.
Wow.
And so it sounds like, here's my cup. I'm near Whiteman Air Force Base. Here in Missouri. We see these exact things fly right over my house. Exactly the way he describes, the same sparks, the same. I wish I could find the rest of this. I don't know why it didn't print. But just an extraordinary account. It's printed in. He has the experience in 1859. He prints it in 1871. There's only one copy known to exist. It's owned by the University of Virginia. I flew out there just to see it. It's just an extraordinary little tract that he's published, and he wasn't popular and few have survived. Apparently one has survived.
Interesting. So another kind of a weird parallel was the Brandon Fugal connection that you have. And of course you met Brandon for all, different reasons. He's the current owner of Skinwalker Ranch. And I knew and had talked to on several occasions the past owner of Skinwalker Ranch, Bob Bigelow, and those guys that were doing with NIDS. I would have conversations on occasion with the NIDS teams that were out there that were studying the ranch scientifically before it became a TV show. And so how do you know Brandon?
Brandon was my fan before he was famous. Brandon and I go back to about 1996.
Wow.
He's a super friendly guy. He invited me to his wedding. He's the kind of guy, if you've got his phone number, He'll go to lunch with you anytime. He's got time. He makes time. He's the biggest commercial real estate broker in the American Southwest. But, if I call him up, he'll meet me for lunch or dinner. Super nice guy. And you refreshed my memory that he was texting me today. And I asked him for this quote because I couldn't find it quickly for the interview today. And so I have a little bit more of it. So I want to read the rest of this. Sorry. And then I'll go back to Brandon.
No problem.
So upon a sudden, it became inconsiderably light in the room where he was lying. His eyes were open and he saw shadows passing swiftly around the inside wall of the house, the light shining upon an open window on the opposite side of the wall. He arose with all possible quickness and looking about 250 feet and about 75 feet above the surface of the earth, he saw a figure of about 45 or 50 feet long. Its dimensions seemed to be true in every way. True, like, I don't know, I'm picturing a B-52. This is a B-52 in 1859, recorded in 1871. That makes it the earliest known UFO sighting in America, because historians think the earliest sighting was 1879 in Texas, but he has this 20 years later in 1859, publishes it in 1871. He arose with all possible quickness and looking out 250 feet and about 75 feet above the surface of the earth, he saw a figure of about 45 or 50 feet long. Its dimensions seemed to be true in every way. Its body had the appearance of being almost or quite pure fire. Its front end was pointed, something to that of a smoothing iron, flaring back to the rear end with a true and regular taper until its width at that end seemed to be about some 10 or 12 feet across. Its speed being about like that of a railroad locomotive when at full speed. Of course, at that time, there's nothing faster, so I don't know what else he could compare it to.
Yeah.
But he says a railroad locomotive at full speed. Its course seemed to be straight from the west toward the east, with numerous of fiery-looking sparks flying off of all of its parts.
Wow.
I can't describe a B-52 better than he just did. 1859.
That's
and
amazing.
It comes from a Mormon apostle, the earliest known UFO sighting in America.
It's very interesting.
Okay, so Brandon Fugal. Brandon Fugal sent this to me. Yeah, I was texting him just today, letting him know I was going to do this. Wonderful person, just absolutely wonderful. I knew him, talked to him about Skinwalker Ranch when he bought it. I knew about the show before he began to produce it. He's sincere, he's genuine, he's earnest, he's likable. I'm on the phone with him today. He's with the governor yesterday. He's popular. Everybody likes Brandon Fugal.
Have you ever discussed the actual ranch at all?
No, because he and I we have something else we're doing together, and he's doing that. And I keep bugging him. I want to get on the helicopter and go out to Skinwalker Ranch, but there's some other things I actually want to look at with him with the helicopter first. So Skinwalker Ranch is his baby, but it's true and it's real.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on, and maybe you can join him. That would be really interesting.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
enthusiastic. He has charisma and energy and animation. So
he seems like he's very open. If he's willing, he's got a real estate business, and yet he's willing to go public with his show, and extremely public,
right?
And acknowledge all of the weirdness that goes on over there. And I have not seen every episode, but from what I have seen, obviously it's a very active area.
Yes, sir.
And I just wonder how you keep your two things different, because I know that you look for certain documents for him, and well,
we're interested in history, so I'm more interested in kind of an Oak Island kind of a history. I'm interested in the treasure seeking of the spiritual kind of treasure seeking that was taking place in America already at the time of Benjamin Franklin. It comes over with the Germans. It comes over some more with the Germans that fought in the Revolutionary War for the British. The Smiths are already faith object people, and they get involved in this kind of treasure hunting about 1802. So that's 28 years before the Book of Mormon is printed. The Smiths are already working with divining rods and seer stones and other kinds of magical instruments, as you would call them, I think.
What would be the best way to describe the Mormon religion?
Well, for me, the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, they're a reconciliation of all the other Protestant Christian religions of the day. In Massachusetts and Vermont, you've got state religion, the Congregationalists, and then it sort of breaks up as America moves west, and west means New York, and Vermont. You start to get Baptists and Methodists and Presbyterians and more, and then you end up with 100 little groups that are like Quakers and Shakers and Whisperers, and they're kinds of millennialists and restorationists. And this concept of a restorationist is an idea that, so when you get up into Vermont, you're living in a cabin with no door and no windows, and your fireplace is in the window, and your fireplace is in the doorway, and your roof is bark, and you're spending your winters in the mountains of Vermont, like people did, the Smiths did for 25 years. You read the Old Testament, and so everybody in Vermont was reading the Old Testament, and you end up with a society that's craving a biblical kind of a religion, because Moses had a rod, and his rod could swallow the Egyptian rods, and he could divide oceans and find water with his rod, and they believe they can do that too. People believe that in America. And so then you've got the New Testament. So you've got a people in America, lots and lots of Americans who want to have prophets, but they also want to have apostles. So you develop a church that has prophets like the Old Testament and apostles like the New Testament, because the Protestants have neither, and Catholics have neither. And you end up with a restored church that has tabernacles and temples and synagogues and polygamy and Melchizedek priesthood and Aaronic priesthood and lots of Old Testament and New Testament things, elders and evangelists, and spiritual gifts like speaking in tongues and having revelations and translating, and all the things that are in the Old and New Testaments are kind of reconciled and blended together. And then you end up with kind of a reconciliation of a lot of theological principles, like whether salvation comes by works or whether salvation comes by grace. And the Book of Mormon is able to reconcile that. And it answers all the questions of the day for all religions. And so you end up with a burgeoning new Christian faith of all these people from all these other 100 different fragmented minority churches are joining the Mormons, and they grow from 6 people in 1830 to a couple of 100,000 in 15 years. So it's an exponential kind of a growing thing. And then Joseph and Hiram Smith are killed in a jail where they're really in protective custody, but they were killed in jail.
So can you you have probably one of the weirdest jobs in the world. I would think it is. I mean, I'm sure you've never run into somebody who does just what you do, but do you want to just quickly just explain what you do for your job?
Well, I'm a material culture historian. I'm interested in rare books and documents and art as physical objects. So paintings not as decorative, but as understanding what they documented and understanding how the painting was made and who made it and for what purpose. And same thing with the documents. So I don't look at documents as typescripts. I look at documents as physical objects to understand the ink, the handwriting, the penmanship, the paper, the binding, the leather, the corrections and alterations and modifications to understand how and why a document was created and what its chain of custody has been. So I'm looking at Mormon history a little different than most Mormon historians. I'm looking at it more like a museum curator or a scientist than a classroom professor or somebody who's studying in a cubicle or on a smartphone. I'm actually handling the documents like a practical or practicing historian. So I ended up with about 1 million items now. I'm not sure how many, 100,000 books, and then ephemera, which means pamphlets and photographs and other things. About a million items.
So how many books do you have?
About 100,000 books. And
wow. He's got you beat, Jeff.
Yeah, that's impressive. I don't know a lot of people that got me beat. That's impressive.
And this doesn't mean I went to a library sale and bought, one of every subject. This means I bought these books usually one at a time, sought them out.
That's impressive.
Like a couple of books I mentioned today. You have to seek these out. They have something you need or want or think ought to be preserved. Like that book, the University of Virginia is the only owner of a copy. I'm looking for that book.
Yeah, I love books. I love rare books and historical books. There's just so much history and knowledge there. I get it. I love that stuff.
Yes, and there's a resurgence. People are understanding that tactile feel as historians have worked now for a while on their tablets, and they're realizing that they're losing something, that they're missing something.
I agree.
And the general reader too, the minimalists among us who have empty houses and no soul in their home are starting to turn back to books and fill their homes with books.
Very interesting.
Don't be confused on my empty bookcases. I'm filling them right now.
Yeah, I know you're doing some remodeling. So a question comes in from Kim Christensen who says, John, what do you think Sasquatch is? There's a lot of theological speculation about the forest people possibly being, boy, my eyes are going out. Jeff, can you read that?
Elohim or Nephilim?
Oh, there we go. There, depending on which doctrine people follow. I mean, do you think that the thing's even real? Do you think it is some kind of religious figure or some throwback from the sky? What are your thoughts?
I'm really glad that Kim asked that because I don't have an answer, and that's how I answer all theological questions. I'm a document historian. My job is to tell people what I know from the documents, what the documents say, and I don't typically form opinions about speculative theology. So, do dogs go to heaven? I don't know. I get asked these questions. Was Joseph Smith a polygamist? It doesn't matter to me what happened. What matters is what the record tells us happened so that I can preserve that and curate that and share that and teach what the record says. So I'm good at showing you what these two documents say. Do I believe James Hutchins saw a UFO, or do I believe David Patton saw this creature? I don't know. That's their experience. That's their faith story. My job is to preserve that record so that other people can use it as they need to either reaffirm their faith. And I think those are really compelling, by the way. They are compelling. I acknowledge when history is compelling, but my job is to preserve the history so that other people can continue on their faith journey.
Let's see, there's a great comment here. Verax says, even among devout Latter-day Saints, the idea of Cain literally being a Bigfoot is not official doctrine, but rather a folk belief reflecting both spiritual interpretation, and frontier mystery. So that was a
This couldn't have been put better than this person put it. This is exactly right. We have to differentiate between folk beliefs and what's documented, what's compelling. And this is exactly right. It's interesting and moving, but it is, there is this, most of Mormon history is folk belief. Most of Mormon history, the church is founded on folk beliefs, and it exists today because of folk beliefs. And you'll see crazy discussions about whether Joseph Smith was a polygamist or not, and you have to figure out what the documents say, whether versus what comes 50 years later from Victorian tale-telling to reinforce faith. And even in this case, this account from David Patton comes from his missionary companion, Abraham Smoot, who shares it when the biography has been being written 40 years later. So it goes through a kind of a lens. He says he's reciting it almost verbatim, and he says there was even more. This is as much as I can remember, but it's precise. But we do have to look at that and say, it isn't the same as if David Patton wrote it down that night. And it wouldn't be the same if David Patton wrote it down 20 years later. And it's definitely not the same having somebody else write it down 40 years later. So it is a folk belief for sure, but it's a powerful, powerful thing.
People keep
mentioning it's early, and then it's corroborated later by many generations of people.
No, it's interesting. People keep mentioning your bookshelves behind you. Are those bookshelves or are those blinds?
Those are bookshelves, yeah.
Oh, okay. And they're going, they're empty, and it's because he's remodeling.
It's making room for more books.
A major renovation, right?
Yeah, in his house.
We're finished, actually. The house is finished, and I've furnished the upstairs 2 levels, and this lower level still moving things in because I've got giant archaeological artifacts coming in first before I bring everything else in.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Your home will be like a museum.
Yes, sir.
I love it. That's cool.
Is that your goal someday?
Oh, it is for sure. Yes. It is. Everything I've been collecting has been, well, not everything. There are some investment quality books if I have 40 copies of something, but
yeah.
There are some books that I saw as undervalued or underappreciated, and I bought multiple copies, but definitely one of everything, and my manuscripts and documents and artifacts are all brought together for the purpose of having a cohesive and comprehensive museum.
Yeah, that's really
cool.
Somebody's got to do everything, right? There's somebody
right.
for every little thing in the world. And John fulfills.
And it's genetic, Doug, because I don't know, you don't have the gene, but I do. But there was something in us that made our ancestors curate seeds or curate arrowheads, or preserve and sort and figure out which the best arrowheads were for getting prey and food. And that's handed down. Those that did it survived evolution. It's interesting to see some people use that gene to collect dolls or something. I hope that people would use their collecting gene to curate something that has value to future generations beyond baseball cards or comic books.
Well, everything has value, and I definitely find that it's in my blood, because I love to take something old and preserve it. I started at a young age restoring antique furniture, and I don't even know why I was driven to do it, but just constantly restore. I mean, Jeff knows. That's all I ever do is restore things.
And your dad, of course, built his
He did
business.
the same thing. Yeah,
family business, which you run, is over 100 years old, 107 years old, started by my great-grandfather. And your father, my grandfather, Don Hajicek, is the one who inspired me to get into the restoration business. He's the one who he actually told me to. do this. Your dad did.
That's very cool.
I love old stuff. I love preserving history, and I love the stories. All those objects have stories. I love it.
And it's a talent. I'm actually good at it, and I don't know why. Things fall into my lap that shouldn't. One would think I make a once-in-a-lifetime discovery every month. I make a substantial discovery every day. More than half of all new discoveries in Mormon history since about 1990 have come through my hands.
Oh wow!
It's for sure a gift. I've prayed about it, but I'm not saying I have spiritual guidance. But I certainly something is happening that makes me be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
that's great. I love it.
It's fascinating. Yeah, there's something about restoring things I think is somewhat noble because it's just you're preserving something versus throwing it away if it's got historical value. And I like machines. That's kind of my thing. I like to restore machines.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, yes.
And you're involved in basically you're restoring a religion in a lot of ways, I guess. Correct? Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't that what you're? Yeah, you're trying to preserve.
I've restored a 1848 Mormon house. We work with the conservation and restoration and preservation of documents and books and art.
Yeah.
I've done some of my own painting restoration. I also have more expensive paintings, people much better at it than I am.
Very cool. Very cool. My father was quite an interesting mix, and my dad wasn't, I wouldn't say, oh God, how would he be different than your father? But my dad was like fertilizer for a free thought, scientific thought. I can't even explain.
Well, they were both inventors.
Yeah, Dad
they were both painters. There's a certain technology to my dad's mind being an engineer, but remember, he was an artist first too. Yeah. He made his own picketing signs for the whole city of Minneapolis. He could paint. He could do hand lettering. Your dad did. My dad's other brother John did. My brother Alan was a hand lettering sign painter and portrait painter. Donald, your dad was a portrait painter. Yeah, so there was an artistic side while inventing technology. For sure, there was that dualism or dichotomy.
Yeah. Well, your grandfather had a way of never judging anything. You could tell him a story, and it didn't matter what it was, and he would listen. He might ask questions, but he never judged or. You know what I mean? I don't know. Can't explain. I can't even explain my own dad. I would say things like, I'm going to walk, 200, take a 200-mile walk. Okay, have a good time.
Yeah.
And then you'd come back 2 weeks later and he'd say, hi, how was your trip? Good.
Didn't you go to France with him?
Yeah. I went to Europe. I went all over Europe with him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we split up.
He just left you? You were like 16 or 17?
Yeah, I was 15, about 14, 13. And we split for half the trip, for half a month. And I experienced Europe on my own. And then we met back up in Luxembourg, Germany.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. And that was just the way he was. No worries. Like, I trust you. Just go do what you do. And we did. And I had a great time. And it was weird. In fact, there's a lot of that whole trip I don't even remember, because he wasn't. And I realized, he wasn't with me. He was with me up through in Holland. We went to Denmark. We went to Holland together. We went to Austria together, and then in Austria we split. And I went off to Innsbruck, and then he went off for a while. Then we met up in Switzerland for a couple of nights, And then he took off again. And then I remember driving through the countryside alone through like Liechtenstein and all just crazy adventures.
You told me some stories.
I got in a car accident, was chased by a guy like in the middle of the night, chased. And I didn't know what was going on. I was just scared out of my mind. I didn't even know what the laws were. I had a car, right? And I'm driving through Europe and I'm like 13. And we sideswiped in a farm field because of a detour. And then he started chasing me. And I'm like, whatever. And I just let him chase me for, God, it must have been like 40 minutes. This guy kept chasing me. And finally I said, okay, screw it. I pulled over and he wanted to pay me for the damage to my car.
Oh.
Because I didn't think I did anything wrong, but you're in the middle of a night in a foreign land and you're a kid. And I didn't even know if I was legal to drive. And I just did what kids do. I took off. It wasn't like a serious, we're talking about a little scratch, right? And I took off. And anyhow, he wanted to pay me for the scratch he caused to my car.
So you're the one who told me about a story about driving to Mexico?
No.
Did you drive to Mexico as a teenager?
No, that was your grandfather.
Oh, that was him. He drove to
him
Mexico
and Wiener
as a kid.
Nussbaum drove to Mexico in a Model A Ford, and I think they were only 7 years old, from Hutchinson, Minnesota. And you can say, well, that sounds crazy, but then no, not really. It's just the way it was.
Yeah.
Different times.
And they ended up, they drove all the way to Mexico. Him and Wiener Nussbaum. It just sounds like a made up story, but I know he would tell me that story. When I was a little kid, he would tell me about their adventures. And it all made sense. I mean, if you knew, your great grandfather, John, John, he didn't care about anything. He was just like, whatever, have fun. I could just see him absolutely, because that's the way my dad treated me.
I thought John was pretty stoic.
He was very.
But didn't care, right? I guess that's right.
Yeah, it was just like, whatever. He didn't worry. He wasn't a worrywart at all.
Oh, no. He was just a worker.
I could just see my dad going, hey, we're going to go to Mexico. And he'd just say, he wouldn't even probably put his newspaper down. Just go have fun.
Yeah.
Be careful. He might say that. And that's it. Month goes by and they come back or whatever. And it's all good.
Yeah, but Donald, your father, my grandfather, continued to travel like that too. He just would get up and leave the business and leave his painting and go to California, go to New Orleans, go travel the world.
Oh, they traveled a lot. Yeah, my dad did.
Pretty probably as laid back as anybody I've ever known.
Yeah, very laid back.
Which is a rare, a rare juxtaposition to be highly successful and laid back both.
Yeah. Yeah, he was they were both, both my mom and my dad were just both very chill about. I mean, Wendy, my sister she was like 13. She goes, I'm going to move to Israel. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. So she moved to Israel, worked in Israel, digging, doing archaeological digs at 13.
Yeah, she was pretty young in Argentina too.
And she went to Argentina too at a young age and lived there for like 2 years. And they were it's all cool.
Sure. Well,
that's amazing.
And that's the family we lived in. It's like, oh, okay. So me, doing my adventures seemed like nothing compared to some of the stuff that Wendy would do. But I'd get on some pretty crazy things and do some just crazy adventures.
Somebody has asked me about my remodeled museum home. Nothing related to Bigfoot, but for sure I'm close to finished. I really am finished. I'm just bringing in the largest and most difficult items in now, heaviest stuff, forklifted stuff.
Wow.
So there's some questions for you. I don't know. Can you read the screen, John? John?
Spiritually charged artifacts. Yeah, there are important spiritually charged artifacts. I probably don't want to put that on the internet. but for sure, there's folk objects that that are that come with power.
Interesting.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Enough said. Do you do you ever had any kind of like paranormal stories yourself, like a ghost story, anything you've ever experienced that's kind of like you cannot explain?
I would say spiritual experiences, but they're very private, I would think.
Sure, that's fine. But if you ever had just a normal, everyday, strange experience that maybe it wasn't spiritual, I mean, do you have to put them all in that category? I don't.
No, but mine were.
Okay, so you're like your dad. See, you're just like your father. Exactly. You can't just say, "Oh, that was
a
just
lot like my father." Yes, sir.
Yes, that is interesting. Okay, but have you ever seen a ghost? You've been in a movie theater and you saw something weird or up in the sky that wasn't a religious experience. It was just an experience.
No. Mm-mm.
Never? Like nothing?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Definitely some spiritual experiences that you might not say were spiritual.
Maybe everything I've had is spiritual, but I don't categorize it as such.
Correct. Right. It's the same experience, a different language, different framing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different framing. And I don't judge either one. I just blow mine off. I always just blow them off. Yeah. I blow them off.
Mormons see personages. We just see angels.
Yeah, there you go. So, but it's interesting. So have you had some things that definitely make you not doubt the paranormal? I always say paranormal because it's lack of a better word, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, there are forces beyond what nature as we know it explains.
Okay. It's good. I know Alan's more like your brother. It's more like me. We swapped stories. Once when I was a kid, this happened. You know, he was telling me about, he was going to cross a road. I think it was downtown or somewhere. And he felt a yank in the back of his coat, you know, pulled him backwards. And then a bus that he didn't see just went, phew. He looked behind him and there was nobody there, you know. Things like, but you've never had anything like that. That's just like, huh? Maybe. Okay. All right. He's not talking, people.
I get
He's
it.
Not talking. That's fine.
But it is interesting you mentioned my brother who leans more, I don't know. Your dad became kind of, was he Buddhist or Hindu?
My dad, nothing. He believed in certain things of many religions.
He was fascinated by Eastern religion. And
he was fascinated by the yoga aspects of it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily spiritual or.
And then you've got a sister who converted to Judaism.
Yep,
My grandmother converted to Judaism.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Your aunt converted to Mormonism, Utah Mormonism, traditional Mormonism. Yep. My father converted to a minority Latter-day Saint church. So there is a kind of a tendency in the family to be free thinking. That's the way I would analyze that. So there's a very open-mindedness in the family that is crucial to making discoveries, including inventions. When you think outside of the box, when you think for yourself, when you think independently or critically of everything around you, you can make discoveries, whether they're in science or in religion or in politics or anything.
Interesting.
A lot of minority politics in the family too, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, I'm a Lutheran. Hey, I'm way out there.
Pretty mainstream.
Yeah. So I'm just a mainstream Lutheran. And but it is interesting how people have from our family have just kind of gravitated to whatever they wanted to do, and that's great. No judging, no anything. Mm-hmm. Just full acceptance. And hey, if you want to get into this, it's great.
Yeah, you're not an ideologue. You're pretty.
No.
I mean, you have strong beliefs, but you're open-minded. You're not an ideologue at all.
I certainly am. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and John's that way too. I know that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do.
And vegans and vegetarians, and man, there's a lot of everything in our family.
Yeah. Very much so. All right. Well, let's wind this bad boy up. Let's hit our wisdom of the week, Jeff.
All right.
No, it's just hang tight, John.
Yep, we'll be right back.
It's time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Learning isn't about knowing, it's about trying. Every master was a beginner once, and most of them looked ridiculous at the start. The difference, they kept going. So don't be afraid to look lost. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions, break things, and rebuild them. Skill doesn't show up fully formed. It shows up covered in grease, frustration, and persistence. If you're willing to look foolish for a while, you'll eventually look like you were born for it. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
Good wisdom as always.
Back. Well, thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really awesome, and
Thank you.
it was fun to share all that personal stuff of our family. Which is, hey, I think it's great. You can share a little bit.
I told some of my friends it was going to be like coming to our Christmas dinner. So
Exactly, but without the tequila.
yeah.
Sorry. Anyhow, let's see here. I'm not sure who we have on. I never say who we're going to have on next week, do I? I never do.
Very rarely.
We should do that, shouldn't we?
Probably a good idea.
It'd probably be a good idea, but I don't do that. But anyhow, I don't remember. But it's going to be a good guest, like John. And John, you were awesome. And
thank you, John.
I hope to see you at Christmas.
Yes, coming up, right?
Yeah, it's coming up quick. It's just, do you find too, like, it's just time is accelerating, like
crazy.
really weird almost. Have you noticed that?
Well, this year went fast. The last few months went.
No. I don't mean that. I mean, like, something's kind of not right. Almost as if there is an acceleration of time. Beyond just getting older, and I do realize that, like, every day is less. No, I don't mean that. I mean, looking at the clock going,
well,
it's 5.
Society's moving fast.
Looking down,
everything
looking
is
back up, and it's 2 hours have gone by.
Everything's moving fast. I used to be able to just get in my car anytime and drive up to Minneapolis. So for the guests that don't know here, I'm in Kansas City, but I'm from Minneapolis. So it's a shot up I-35, 7 or 8 hours. And, I used to get up there once a month, anytime I wanted. And now it's, you struggle to get up there a few times a year. And that's even with my aging mother. So,
yeah. Well,
my mom lives in St. Cloud. Put in a good word for my mom here. Lives in St. Cloud. Lives in the same town where her ancestors have lived since 1865.
Wow.
Or 1860 maybe. Other than us all moving to Wisconsin for a while. Then when my father died, she went back. So
everybody wants us to get Brandon on.
Yeah, we need Brandon for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be a great conversation. I love it.
Brandon's so animated. He's so likable.
Yeah. Well, if I'm connected, maybe I can get him on. So
I'll ask.
All right. We will talk soon. Thanks, John. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, everybody, all our moderators.
Thank you, Jeff.
All the active chat. And if you won something you didn't win from the Nada contest, please get a hold of Jeff. Get him
email me, please.
Get him your info, and we'll get you out something. But not really. Okay. Goodbye.
Good night,
we'll see y'all next week. All right. See y'all next week. Good night, everybody. Good night.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love. We